Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Now Monday nights I've been jumping on and sharing a double layout, memory keeping, some scrapbook, or double scrapbook layout. Gosh, say that fast, three times. So a double layout scrapbook for scrapbooking. It's been fun to get back into scrapbooking, and I've been having fun making some of these pages. So tonight I'm going to do a little bit of paper weaving, I decided, for my layout. Try and keep it fairly simple. That's my goal with this, is to just show you how you can create some really nice double layouts that are fairly quick and easy to make. Doesn't have to take you a long time. Now, I don't actually have pictures for my layout tonight. I went looking and I couldn't find pictures that I wanted to print out. But I have some ideas for some pictures, and I'm going to try printing them in sepia or maybe black and white. So one of the things I learned at the Backstage conference, so Backstage is the Stampin' Up! Leadership conference where they talked a little bit about memory keeping, was doesn't really matter if you don't have, you go through and you try and find pictures that match paper and other things that you have. And if you can't quite coordinate it, why don't you try printing the pictures in black and white or maybe sepia or something like that. So tonight I'm using the paper from the Wildflower Designs bundle. I think that's what it's called. The bundle itself is called Wildflower Designs. That may not be the exact name of the paper. But it is an absolutely gorgeous suite from the annual catalog, and so I thought I would play with it. Moody Mauve and Early Espresso, and so if I end up printing pictures in sepia or even black and white, I think they will go quite nicely. All right, now I am trying. Hey, Nancy. Perfect. I'm just going to see sure I can see comments as they come in. All right, I'm going to switch over to my desktop and we'll get started on this layout. All right, so let me bring in what I've got, and I'm gonna, there we go. Hopefully that's a little better. It's always different when I do a scrapbook layout, and what I end up trying to get it out so you can actually see. So this is what I did in advance of going live. I pulled out some white cardstock. Now, I can't remember the name of this. This is the I think it's White Willow, is the new Stampin' Up! Color for the 12 by 12. That's not what I want. I want another piece of the white, so let me grab. That was a cover. That was the back cover for one of them. Okay, so I've got two 12 by 12 pieces of basic white cardstock. And then I went and cut, like I said, it didn't take me very long to kind of get ready for this. Like I said, I don't have the pictures done, but we'll put pictures on afterwards. So then I just went ahead, let's take these, and cut strips. So these are 1-inch strips of, this is Early Espresso cardstock, and this is the Wildflower Designs, Wildly Flowering, something like that, designer series paper. And I thought I would just try some paper weaving. So I've got way more strips than I actually need. So we're gonna do it kind of like this. So if these are 1-inch by 12-inch, and I'm just gonna take and kind of lay them in place. Wasn't sure how many I was actually going to do. Let's take them off of here. So this was my idea, just to do some paper weaving. So then we'll go over. So I'm going to actually glue these on in just a minute. Oh, I got two strips here, two over, under, something like that. And I'm going to start gluing these on because it would be much easier to do. And then we're going to keep, like I said, we're going to keep the layout really simple tonight, because there's nothing better than doing some simple layouts that don't take a lot of time. Now, let me see. I was going to do some splatter. And so if you've never done this technique, let me just zoom in for just a minute on one of these pieces, and I'll try and keep that piece out of the way. I'm going to take my dark Moody Mauve blend. So a quick way to do some splatter is to take the fine, or the brush end, and just kind of run it into the, so I'm just going to take, this is the cap off, and I'm just going to take and run it into that cap, kind of just putting some splatter. Particularly, don't do really hard, because you will kind of break down the tip on this if you go too hard with it. But hopefully, if I go in close, hopefully you can kind of see the splatter that you get. So I've just kind of gone all over with this, and we're going to do the same with this piece, so you can hopefully see this as it splatters. And you can make as much splatter or as little splatter as you want, but it just kind of gives you a texture. And then if you end up with ink on your cap, just take a baby wipe and clean it off. So that's the start. Give it a little bit of a pattern. Okay, so let's take and go back to just one sheet for the moment. So I'm going to take, I love this particular pattern. So I'm going to take and use some glue. You could use some Stampin' Seal. Oops. There we go. All right. And I'm going to, where's my brown? Okay. So I'm going to just take and I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the top. And I'm going to kind of put it at, let's see, let's get that at, so we'll put it like this. Using my grid paper, that always helps me to line this up so I get it more or less straight. Just trying to see if I can see comments, making sure I can see some comments if there are any. All right, so I put a little bit of glue. It's still loose. I want to keep it straight so it doesn't wiggle around. And then I'm going to do the same just on the top. And we'll glue this down once we get the woven in. I'm going to leave just a little bit of a space between this. So this is early espresso, again a 1-inch strip, and then again this. Try and get it spaced fairly evenly. There we go. All right, so I've got my 3 pieces. I think I'm going to just leave it at 3, and then I'm going to grab another 3 pieces, but this time I'm going to use 2 of the early espresso pieces and 1 of my designer series paper. So for this one, when you're weaving, we want to go over, under, over, under to start with. You could do the other way if you want, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to get these on here, and then this one is going to go over, under, over. To think about this for a minute, get these woven in here, and then this one under, over, under. So some of you will know that I'm actually a weaver. It's easier with a loom than it seems to be with this. So I'm going to just take this and put just a little bit of glue on that end. And I'm going to put that about there. So I've got that glued. And again, I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on that end now that I've got that woven in, and we're going to just leave that, it's about a not a 1/4 of an inch, more closer to an 1/8 of an inch gap. I shouldn't have taken that out, but we have done that now. Okay, so under, we'll get that in like that, hold that in place, and then pull this. Looks harder than it is. I'm really making this look way more harder than it needs to be. There we go. All right, so just a bit of paper weaving, really easy technique to do. And then you don't have to glue this all the way down. I'm just going to then take and glue the ends down. So I've got the top and bottom glued down on all of the pieces. So at least on those pieces, and then we'll take them and do the same on this one. So this is one side of the double layout. Like that. Okay, there we go. So that's one side. Now, the only thing we have to figure out is what we're going to do with this other side. And so I could do exactly the same if I wanted to. So I could continue my pieces like this, which is what I might end up doing. See, like this. And I need another piece of brown. I must have one. I cut lots. Okay, so it will go. I think that's what I'll end up doing. So we'll do this, this, and this. So definitely the two sides coordinate with each other. I could flip it, so once I get it kind of lined up, I could end up turning it when it goes into the album. But for the moment, I'm going to keep it laid out like this so I can line up my pieces. So I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to just glue these down. And if I line these two pieces up so they're straight along the edges, I should be able to take and just kind of continue that line across like that. So again, we're just gluing that one side down. Hey Holly, welcome. And again, this one. And I know there's people that are watching and out there that do really ornate and fancy, oopsie, I'm trying not to get my glue all over the place, fancy, the beautiful scrapbook layouts. But my whole idea with this is to not spend a ton of time doing a scrapbook layout. The adage of better done than not done is important for me, and so drop that. So this is all about getting a pretty layout that doesn't take a ton of time to do. I have glue all over my fingers. Holly's in the house, that's funny. Okay, so got that one done. I've got glue on the back of this. So I'm going to just move that one out of the way. Wipe some glue up off this glass mat. And then on this side, I did it about a little bit wider than an inch wide. So we're just going to do this one. No, it's okay if it's not exactly lined up. At least it's okay for me. I'm not fussed. So I'm going to just take and glue these on at the top. So this one needs to be, no, we did over, under, over. So this one is going to be under, over, under. And we pulled that off, but that'll go back on fairly easily, like that. And my last piece, and then we can start putting the mats on for the where the pictures will go. So over, under, over. There we go. All right. All right, so glue these bottoms at the ends of our strips down. If you've ended up with them sticking out a little bit below the end of your 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, just trim it off. Okay, there, I've got glue on the ends, splodged out a little bit. If you know me, you know I don't like glue on my fingers, which is why I resisted using liquid glue for the longest time. Okay, so we've got our pieces like this. So you could keep them like that. You could do a different layout. You could, I don't think I want to do that, but I could put it, no, I think I could put it like that. So let's do some layouts. So I went ahead and cut some mats out of Moody Mauve if you're in the US. And I have two pieces, so I've got 5. So my thought was I will put 5 pictures on these 2 layouts. So I've got 2 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, because that's the size that my printer prints out pictures of. So we'll put maybe one like that, and then one like that. This is my thought. It may change, but something like that. You could put them on straight if you wanted to. Like I said, I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to put on here yet, but actually I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to, I don't want to cover up my weaving. So maybe we'll do something like that. Like that. And then like that. So probably something that looks like that. Because I don't want to cover up the 2 kind of woven sections. And I pulled out, this is the Wildflower Designs stamp set. And so I thought maybe I would do a little bit of stamping, maybe some of these images. So now I have a sense of where these are going to go. Probably should have kept them on there, but so I'm going to do a little bit of stamping using this one that looks like a, I don't know, I was going to say it looks like a dandelion, dandelion flowers, but I don't actually know if that's true. I don't know what flower this is. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping where I think my pictures are going to go. Something like this. So this is just stamping in early espresso. Okay. And then this one I thought was going to go kind of like this, and like that. So let's take and stamp. Like I said, you can be really fussy and you could take way more time than I am. Yeah, thanks, Cindy. I don't want to cover my woven sections either. So we're not going to do that. We're going to all right, just a little bit of stamping in behind with that one image. And then I'm going to take, and I'm going to use dimensionals on the backs of these. Like I said, I don't have pictures yet for this layout, so I'll figure that out later. I'm going to try sepia because I think it will go really well with the brown, the early espresso that's in these this designer series paper. You may not want to use dimensionals if you don't want your scrapbook pages to be too thick, but I kind of like the texture. Zoom out again. There we go. Sorry. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate the reminder because I tend to get focused on what I'm doing. So there we go. We're just going to put dimensionals on the backs of what these mats are. So these, again, these mats, the bigger ones are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Will fit that kind of standard 4 by 6 picture, and the other ones are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And that's kind of try and keep it to that since I don't have the pictures for these. So that's the other thing about memory keeping. It used to be that you always, you had your pictures all done and figured out before you actually started your scrapbook. But you don't have to. You can create some pages and then put your pictures on later. I didn't, so this is white, this the paper, the cardstock that I'm using. So I didn't really think about, let's put that there, a place to journal, but I have some extra room on here, so I've definitely got some room to do some journaling. But we do probably need to think about a title. So what did I pull out? I pulled out, this is called, what is this called? This is called Thoughtful Moments dies. So it's a hybrid embossing folder, and so it will cut out and emboss words, which is really cool. So you could do some coloring of these words, or you could just cut them out as they are. So I am thinking I'm going, since I don't actually know what I'm going to do, what pictures, I'm going to cut out this word celebrate. So I'm just going to take and put one of my strips. Will it? No, I won't. It won't fit. So I'm just going to take and tear a piece off my early espresso, and this runs through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine just like you would with a embossing folder. So we're going to take and we're just going to have the standard plate. This goes on, and then this plate number 4 goes on to cut that out. And I could have put some dimensionals of foam sheets on the back. So when you cut these out, you can get all sorts of words. So if I did a full sheet, so I have the word celebrate. Hopefully you can see that. But you also get, if you use the whole sheet, this one says just because. So you can cut a whole piece of these out in one go. Before I do anything with it, trying to find a blending brush. I'm going to take a blending brush and I'm going to go over this to make it show a little bit more, hopefully show a little bit more using some early espresso. So we'll see if that'll just kind of make it a little bit darker. Oopsie, just be a little gentle. I don't know if that helped at all or not, but we'll see. So kind of, I'll say generic-ish words are good if you don't really know what it is that you're going to put on here. So I am just going to take that and pop it up using my dimensionals. And I think I need to use mini dimensionals because it's not very wide. So we'll just take put that. Now I definitely need something on this C. So these mini dimensionals have quite a wide border around that doesn't have the dimensional cut, and so I'm just going to take and cut a piece off of those, or off of that section, that I can use on this C, and hopefully I can then just take and trim it using my snips so you don't see that. There we go. Okay, so I got that, but before I do, I was thinking, okay. So I've got some twine. I thought I had some of the Moody Mauve jute that I was going to break apart and deconstruct, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this around my hand a few times and take it off my hand, pinch it in the middle. Do that again. Wrap it around my hand a few times. I got splatter all over my fingers. Pinch it in the middle. And then I'm going to take a little bit, just a little bit of Stamp and Seal. Put that to hold it in place like that. If you have a rogue end, just kind of take it out, bring it in to the middle. It doesn't want to, but we can hold it in place. And then I've got that. So a little bit of twine just to kind of add a little bit something. We'll put that down. Oof, not like that. Let's go. Come on. Up like you. There we go. So a little bit of twine. And then I pulled out, these are, what are they called? These are the 2023-25 in color opaque sparkle dots. They come in the in colors from last year. So Pebbled Path, Wild Wheat, Copper Clay, Boho Blue, and Moody Mauve. So let's just take and put some of these on. And you can put, I mean, you're not, it's a 12 by 12 layout, so you can put as many of these as you want on to your layout. I'll put them on and then I'll zoom a little bit for, okay. So you can decide however many you want. So let's see. No, that's probably not. But I'm trying to make it so you can actually see. But there you go. So a few little dots, a little bit of twine, and then perfect, lots of room for my two pictures. And then on this one, it's basically the the same kind of layout, just one extra picture. And I still have a little bit of room to tell a bit of a story on the white. I'm not going to put a tag or anything like that on, but there's lots of room to write a little bit of a story for whatever of these pictures I end up finding to put on here. So there we go. Probably should have found something else that you can read that better than you can close up, so that's okay. So we'll find some pictures for Celebrate and see how that goes. But there we go. There is relatively quick layout. Like I said, it didn't take me too long to put that together. Cut some strips of designer series paper and cardstock. A little bit of some kind of sentiment, some pages to, somewhere to journal, and maybe a little bit of stamping and splattering, and you've got a layout. So I'm having fun doing this. I hope you are enjoying it. I'd love to see if you are doing some memory keeping or scrapbooking. I'd love to see some of your layouts. I'm always very inspired by the layouts I'm seeing. So if you have a chance and you're on my Facebook group, please share your layouts that you've been creating, because I'd love to see what you're doing and what you're working on as well. All right, I will be live tomorrow night. Now, a little earlier because I have an appointment at 6, so I will be probably live at about 4:30 or so tomorrow for my sketch challenge. So hopefully you can join me then. And then on Wednesday is my technique. I'm so mixed up with the days. Wednesday is my technique, and I'm going to do some partial die cutting. So come join me. If you've never done partial die cutting, it's a technique that always boggles my mind. But once you've kind of figured it out, you'll be good to go. So come join me, and we will make a card or a gift card holder. I haven't quite decided using partial die cutting. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.